Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
I'm getting my big camera. Do you take pictures? Do you like pictures? You like photography, Robert?
I do, and I have a big hunger, so I do need a big camera.
So this is the 5D Mark II. This is, kind of one of several traditional, pro cameras.
It's a howitzer of cameras.
Yeah, full frame sensor, big lenses because of that, and it weighs, a good number of pounds. I decided to eschew that when I went to Europe and to use a little micro four thirds camera that I really fell in love with. This is the Olympus OM-D E-M1. This is what I took with me when I went to Italy and Turkey, and I got really wonderful images with this. What's nice is it harkens back to an earlier Olympus camera. You might remember the OM1 film camera. Really looks a lot like this. It was fun to hold, fun to use. And when you compare the OM-D EM5 with the 5D, you really see how much I save. And by the way, these are comparable lenses. But because it's a micro four thirds sensor, the smaller lens also makes the whole kit a lot lighter. You can carry your whole camera kit in a small backpack. Well, Olympus has followed up on the OM-D EM5 with a new micro four thirds camera. This is it. This is the OM-D E-M1. So don't be confused by the numbering scheme. They are going backwards of the numbering scheme. But this is probably in response to some of people's input on the EM5. Lots more knobs, which pros like. Pros want to be able to keep their eye on the sensor and fiddle with the knobs to get what they want. And there are buttons to do everything. Lots of extra programmable function buttons. There's an HDR button that'll give you a choice of 4 different HDR settings. There's buttons, of course, for direct shooting film. I like that. Movies, rather. I like the film. I like that a lot. There is a camera hot shoe, and it comes with a small little flash that'll use the camera's battery, but it also has a full flash control and a full microphone jack on the side, so you can use high-quality microphones on this camera. It has built-in stereo microphones, 1080p video shooting, lots and lots of functionality. Let's talk about what's different between the EM5 and its successor, the EM1. Price is the same, about $1,400, although I should mention through the end of the month, Olympus is taking $200 off this EM1. They're pushing it, so it's on sale. So this might be a good time if you're interested in micro four thirds. The advantage of micro four thirds, I should mention, is interchangeable lenses. You can get Olympus lenses, but there are many other companies that make micro four thirds lenses, so there's a very wide range of selections. One of the things Olympus did with the EM1 that I like a lot, there are 2 focusing styles. There's the fast micro four thirds phase focusing, but it also has contrast focusing built in. That's if you want to use older four thirds lenses, and in some cases, with continuous focus, you'll be able to use both. That's great. Very fast focusing on micro four thirds, except in low light, where it is notoriously bad. I found that the same thing here. But great lens choices. This camera has built-in Wi-Fi, which is really cool. You can pair it. I won't show it right now, but I paired it to my iPhone. You can pair it to an Android phone. Olympus has applications, also an iPad, which means you can remote control the camera, but also pull images off and edit them. The other thing Olympus has done is they've really improved the electronic viewfinder, or EVF. These are SLRs, but they're mirrorless. There's no mirror, there's no prism. That's the sensor right there. And so in order for, unlike a traditional SLR, which has a mirror and you're looking through the viewfinder through the lens, this uses a video tap that's an electronic viewfinder. They've much improved the EVF in this. Thing is really good. 2 megapixels, very high resolution, very good color accuracy. You can zoom in with the electronic viewfinder. You get lots of information, histograms and stuff. So, while optically it doesn't feel as live, perhaps, as a true optical mirrored camera, I have to say, EVFs can do so much more once you get used to them. I think you're going to like it. And the fact that this is so compact gives you such great image quality. It has a lot of the other features that I liked about the OM1, the tiltable viewfinder. That means it was really easy for me to shoot pictures up over my head in crowds. Or if you want to go in stealth mode, you can operate this like a Rolei and hold it at your waist and still see the viewfinder. I found that great for taking street photography shots of people without letting them know I was shooting them. I am a big fan of the EM5, and I like the EM1 an awful lot. I think they've done a lot lot to improve it. I like the fact that I don't have to take my eyes off the viewfinder. I can just twiddle these knobs and change the settings. So let me give you the pros and cons. Lots more improved features, a much better electronic viewfinder. I like the fact that it has so many programmable buttons, including, you know, they have in-camera, time-lapse, in-camera HDR. A lot of the specialty stuff people like to do is in here. They've improved the lens correction, so much better JPEGs come out of this. Of course, you can always shoot RAW as well. And they do have in-camera RAW conversion, too, and they've improved that quality. I love the retractable, or whatever you call this, the pivotable viewfinder. This viewfinder is really crisp, very clear, 3-inch viewfinder. On the cons, it can be a little bit challenging. You're going to have to spend some time learning this camera. Look at all those knobs and dials, and that's just the front of the camera. There's a lot to learn. But once your fingers and brain learn how to manipulate it, I think you're going to be able to work with it very quickly. I'm not crazy about where the on-off switch has been moved. However, again, once you get used to it, it probably will be just fine. And, of course, it's expensive for a fairly small sensor. Micro Four Thirds is smaller than APS-C. It's smaller than full frame. It's a little bit bigger than a point and shoot or a 1-inch sensor, but still you lose a little bit of the bokeh, a little bit of the depth of field that you would get on a bigger sensor. On the pro side, of course, this is a 45mm lens. That's effectively 2x because of the smaller sensor. So this small lens is actually a 90mm lens when I'm shooting. This 75mm lens is effectively 150. So you get smaller lenses, which give you a lot more capability. I'm going to definitely give this a buy, especially since right now Olympus has cut $200 off the price of it. They are still going to sell the EM5. It's a little simpler, a little easier to use. But if you have the choice and you're willing to put some energy into it, I'd have to say the EM1 is the one to choose. One other big difference, you can see it on the grip here on the side. The little nubby grip has been replaced with a serious pro grip that makes it a lot easier to hold the camera and a lot easier to shoot. This is a great camera. Great images. The only thing that's going to be better is a 5D Mark II or maybe a Sony A7 or NEX6 or 7. But if at this price point, I don't think there's anything out there. And the range of lenses means it is ultimately flexible. A definite buy on the Olympus OM-D E-M1.